I thought this channel was about history, so why are you doing a video about classical music? Glad you asked. The history videos aren't going anywhere. I still plan to post those regularly. I started this channel because I wanted to learn about the world and the universe with you guys together. Learning is always more fun with somebody else, especially when I can get some knowledge from you guys who are experts in these areas where I'm not. So while history is my favorite subject and I will be posting videos based on your suggestions over the next several days, today we're going to flip the script a little bit and turn to classical music. I've always wanted to kind of become an expert in classical music. It's always been an interest of mine, but I've never really spent very much time on it. But here's the thing, I don't want to just listen to the music. I want to actually learn in depth about it. I want to learn about the composers, the musicians, the conductors, the story behind the pieces. I want to really learn to appreciate the music at a deeper level. This also includes learning music theory. I'm aware that you can't truly appreciate classical music without having some knowledge of the theory behind it and just how difficult some of these pieces are to play. Now FYI, I do come from a musical family. My mom is a piano teacher and a children's choir director, and music has been part of my life ever since I can remember. However, music was not really my best talent growing up, and honestly, I kind of learned instruments at a beginner level and never really progressed beyond that, which also means that I never really learned music theory. I know there are scales and different keys. I know there's something called the circle of fifths, but I can't begin to explain to you what that actually means. I used to play in a handbell choir, which means I can read the music on the treble clef staff, but I can't do it on the bass clef. I know how to count basic rhythms in music. In band, I played percussion. So now I'm at a point in my life where I really want to dive into classical music, and I'm gonna need your help doing it because I'm sure that most of you out there are way more knowledgeable about this than I am. So I'm gonna start a new series called Symphony Sundays. The plan is to release a new classical music reaction every Sunday. I thought I'd start off with something that was fairly short just to kind of see how this goes, because honestly I really don't know if there's gonna be much of an interest in this. So the first video I chose was Für Elise? I looked this up online just to see if I was pronouncing it correctly, and it looks like the German way of pronouncing it is Für Elise. I know here in America we say Für Elise, at least that's the way I've heard it my entire life, and we kind of butcher it just like we butcher Notre Dame by saying Notre Dame. I'm sorry, France and Germany. So here's the thing, I don't know if I've actually heard this all the way through before. Of course, I've heard it because you'd have to live under a rock to have never heard this before, but I've never seen it performed live, and I'm not sure I've heard it all the way through. Now, I think this is part of a much longer piece by Beethoven. This video that I found was only 3 minutes and 51 seconds long, which was way shorter than I thought it was going to be, so I hope that this is right. Now, I also know that this is supposed to be a solo piano piece, but it looks like that it's also arranged for an orchestra as well, so don't kill me if you're a purist out there. But I searched for a live version because when it comes to classical music, I much prefer watching it being performed rather than just listening to the audio track. It really brings the music to life when you can see the musicians actually playing it, and you also start to appreciate the complexity of the piece and the hard work that goes into learning how to play these things. Now, I don't know anything about this piece other than Beethoven wrote it, and I did look that he composed it in 1810 and it wasn't published until 1867. So I'm not really sure why there's a huge gap between its composition and its publication. So maybe you guys can explain the story behind this. And also I did look up the translation is Für Elise. So I'm guessing he wrote this about a girl, but I don't know who Elise was in his life. So if you guys know about Beethoven, please let me know down in the comments who he wrote this song for. I also saw that this was supposedly his most famous work, which surprises me actually, because when I think of Beethoven, I think of Moonlight Sonata or the Fifth Symphony as being maybe slightly more recognizable than this song for some reason, but I guess I'm wrong. So without further ado, let's get into Für Elise. Something sounds flat to me. It almost sounds like the piano's out of tune, but surely it's not. Oh wow, look at that chandelier. I wonder which hall this is in. Shout out to the triangle percussion. Oh, there are a lot of chandeliers. I have to admit though, the triangle is kind of distracting, so I wish that they hadn't put that in there. But I do like the sound of it with the orchestra behind it. Again, if you're a purist, you know, don't hate me. Liking it so far. I am going to back up just a little bit so that we don't miss anything. I just love it with the orchestra added to it. It's just, it fills it out. I think that during that little interlude there, it would have sounded better if they had just let the piano play solo and didn't have like that oboe, and I guess that the violins came in with a little picking right there. I think I would have let the piano just play by itself at that point and just give the orchestra a rest and then come back in at this point. Let me go back. Has like a mysterious sound to it, sort of. Such little soft tones, you can barely hear it, but it adds stuff to it. The switch up here is really interesting to me because you have this nice flowing pretty melody, and then all of a sudden Beethoven goes into this kind of ominous sounding undertone, which is a very strange thing to add to, I guess, a love song to a woman. Is there a reason why he switched up the sound here? So I like they gave the orchestra a rest there. Wow. I think I definitely like that better than just the solo version of the piano. That's just my personal taste with it, because the orchestra did add a certain, like I said, it added more weight to it, which I kind of personally liked, but there were points in there where, like I said, I would have given the orchestra a rest and just featured the piano by itself. At first, I kind of liked the triangle, but as the music went on, I thought the triangle just was such a sharp sound that it kind of was more of a disruption than an addition. Overall, though, I really liked it. Now, I've heard that this song isn't that difficult to play, that it's actually one of the easier piano pieces to learn. So musicians, let me know if that's true, and also let me know if you prefer just the solo piano version or if you like this version better. I really enjoyed watching it being performed as well. It just adds so much to it when you can see the musicians. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Answer my questions below if you can. This is just the start on a classical music journey that I'm really looking forward to. Also, let me know about any music theory in here also, so that I can kind of get the ball rolling on that and learning more about that. So more classical music coming in the future, and as always, stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.